Okay, I probably should have mentioned that we need to save our document before we get started. So don't forget to always go to File, Save, and give it a proper name. And you can see I'm saving this to my folder with all the images, the Bill Bailey portfolio folder. And I've called it Bill Bailey A5 portfolio, so I know the size of it. And then I also put the date because you might create different versions of this, and the date will tell you which is the current version. So don't forget to do that. All right, now in this video, I want to look at the page 2 and 3. Now, the page 2 of any document is usually referred to as the inside cover page. So if you pick up any book, any magazine, any publication, the second page is usually the inside cover page, and what you put there usually is like an imprint page. You put details of the book. You might put an image, but usually you can leave that even blank. A lot of people leave it blank. So we're focusing on page number 3, which is going to be effectively the first page of our book. So if I just press W and bring back my guides, you can see now I've got my column right there. Now with typing, on this page, on page 3, we're going to type up our artist statement about Bill Bailey. So this is where you put your About You page. So you've got a few ways of doing this. You can take the text tool and you can draw a box to the width of the column, and you can simply type in some text. So I have always been fascinated, and this will take a while, so I won't finish it, but that's one way. Is basically you can type in, and I'll just do some really gobbledygook. Here we go. So you can see as you type, it automatically enters the text and places it on the next line. So when it gets to the end of the text box, it will then go back to the next line. Go to the next line. So that's the first way of typing text. The second way is you have it typed up in a document like Word. So here it is in Word. You can select it from somewhere else. You can copy it, then go into InDesign. And if this was a blank text box, you would then just go paste. And you've got your text box there. The third way, and there's our little red box telling us that if I go to the Move tool, see that little red box down the bottom there? That's telling me that all the text is visible, so I can then drag that down and the text box is now visible and the red box is gone. Now the third way, I'll just delete this text box. The third way is simply to go to Place, under File, and you can actually physically place a text box or a slab of text from another program like Microsoft Word. So I've selected Bill Bailey Artist Statement. This is a document from Word. I'll get my little icon again, and I can say to InDesign, can you put it in that column there, thanks. And you can see that it's placed it in the column. It's bigger than the page. It's bigger than what I want. And then I can resize it. And I can resize it by selecting it once again. I can triple click. Basically, a double click will select the word. A triple click will select a line. Is that right? Yeah. And a quadruple click will select the paragraph. If you want the whole lot, you just go Command A. And that selects all of it. And here is where I can make it smaller. Now, you can see the size of my text box. At the moment, the size of my artist statement is 11 point. I strongly recommend don't go anywhere larger than say 12 point for body copy. You know, some students, they make their text boxes really big and it just looks childish. So keep it under 12 if you can. I hover anywhere between 9 and 11. I tend to hover between those sizes there. Let's just go a bit bigger just to prove a point. If your text is larger than the text box itself, you've got a couple of options. The first is to click on the Move tool, and you can make the text box bigger by dragging it out. Okay, that's the first option, is you basically make the text box big enough to contain all the text. That may not suit your purposes. The second way, of course, is to select all the text, Command A, and make the text size smaller. And let's go to 11 points. And then I can fit it where I want it. And I can actually ignore the margin area. I don't have to have things sitting within the margin area. I can just ignore that. So assuming that I'm happy with that, the next task is to work out the orientation, or not the orientation, the alignment of the text. And by that I mean paragraph alignment. So again, if I select the text box, I can click on the alignment tools here, and you can see it actually changes the alignment according to which little icon I click on. I can do it without using the text tool. I can actually just select the text box with my move tool. This is the arrow, and I can make changes to the text box just by clicking either in paragraph. I can have hyphenation on or off, and I can also affect the font. I can change the font. I can change the I'll just choose let me just choose Georgia. That's okay. A nice serif font. I can change the size, and over here I can also change the leading, which is also called line spacing. So I can make it I can have greater line spacing. If I bring that down to here, you can see now I've got the little red box telling me that not all the text is visible. So I can make the leading bigger, but I can make the size smaller, and that brings it back into view. You don't want to go lower than 9 point, because I think that's going to hamper readability. But yeah, the leading or the line spacing is important. And I'd leave the character spacing, otherwise known as kerning, I would leave that on 0 for text boxes. The only time I would affect my kerning or character spacing is if I had a heading. So yeah, lots of ways you can treat the text. But look, what's that? 9 point, Georgia, 20 point. I might bring that down to say 18, and I'm happy with that. And if I press the W, you can see straight away what the page is going to look like. At this point, I could decide to modify the margin, or I can just manually modify the margins. I can bring that physically in like that. And you can see, I'll just make this a little bit wider. And now when I press W, it's a more narrow column. And if I want to bring the black logo, let's say I want the black logo, I can bring in the black logo from my folder. That's that one there. I can then press and drag, Command Shift and drag, and make the logo smaller. I might place it there just for effect. And then I can also put in my name at the top, Bill Bailey. This is another way of actually bringing in text. If you've got the text already typed up somewhere else on your page, so I've got it on the cover page, I can select it, copy it, and then click on page 3. Now notice you have to click on the page to tell InDesign where you want to paste it. If you don't click, it won't know where you want to paste it. So don't forget to click the page once, and then you paste it, and InDesign knows that you want to paste the text onto page 3 in this case. Obviously the text is white, so I've got to go to my type tool and change it to another color. I could even make it red. And even the alignment, I can change that now to align left. Place it there. If it's too big, I go to character and I can make it smaller. I can even make the kerning. I can make it spaced out a bit more. And I'm pretty happy with that. That's my third page complete. There you go. Cover page, nothing on the inside cover page, which is page 2, and page 3 is all about me.